I always thought that the first book that started me in my faith journey was Hope for the Flowers, being read by the teacher that really changed my life. But looking back in today's first reading, I realized that it was the comics that I read when I was still in grade school, if probably around grade 1 or grade 2. And it was a children's comic, uh, but it directly quoted the book of Ezekiel. And let me read that exact verse that really uh, got stuck in my mind from the very first time I read it. And then he said to me, prophesy over these bones and say to them, dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus says the Lord God to these bones, see, I will bring spirit into you, that you may come to life. I will put sinews upon you, make flesh grow over you, cover you with skin, and put spirit in you, so that you may come to life and know that I am the Lord. And the comics was portraying it as the dry bones slowly having flesh until it lives. And it was so amazing for me. And even at that young age, I realized life comes from God. And God is the one that animates us, that brings meaning to our life. And I still remember it very vividly, the comics. And yes, brothers and sisters, God is saying the same thing to you. A lot of times we think of ourselves as walking dead. You know, might as well die with this problem that I'm encountering, with this emptiness. Life doesn't seem to make sense, Volt. Uh, Even if I try to enjoy eating good food, traveling a lot, you know what, when I sleep at night and it's silence, I, I, I don't see anything in that silence. When it's silent, it's like everything that I've been trying to avoid catches up. You know, when I eat, I feel happy. And I make a lot of excuses that this life is okay. But when it's night, everything catches up and I feel so empty. But you know what God is telling you right now? Dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. See, I will bring spirit into you that you may come to life. You know, the world offers a lot of cure for depression, for sadness, for emptiness. But God reminds you that happiness, that life is only in Him. And what do we do with that life? How do we find that life? Well, I've been searching for a life and I can't find it. If you're saying it's God, then how do I find God? You know, the key is in our gospel today. And the Pharisees found that Jesus silenced the Sadducees. They tried to set up another trap. And they asked him, Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest? And his reply to them, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. The whole law and the prophets depend on these two commandments. Brothers and sisters, if you are feeling empty right now, the answer is God. And the way to God is to love Him with everything that you've got. Not just giving Him bits and pieces, not just going to Mass when you feel like it, not doing good only when it's good for you, not giving only when you have extra. No. Give yourself fully, nothing held back, and love those around you, whether they are your enemies or your friend, whether they are your relatives or not. Brothers and sisters, God tells us, I will give you life. And the way to life is to give yourself, to give your life. Jesus teaches us the way. He offered His life, not for Himself, but for others, for God, for you, for me. And Jesus taught us that way so that we will learn that the key to happiness is giving our lives to, not for ourselves, but for God and for everyone else.